Hi, my name's Venus O'Hara and welcome to another video. The other day someone wrote to me and asked me to make a video called Can a Man Compete with a Sex Toy? So here it is. Can a man compete with a sex toy? Of course. I think I don't think men or women or anyone should see sex toys as the enemy or a replacement. Absolutely not. I think sex toys are definitely a complement. But I think it's interesting because for me in my profession as a professional sex toy tester, sometimes it's been a challenge for me dating, trying to have orgasms with people as opposed to toys. That can be very challenging. I think when people first meet me, they think it's really cool to be a sex toy tester. But then when they see the extent of my collection, or they ask me how many orgasms do you have a day, they can feel quite intimidated. But I think from all the sex toys that I've tested and all the sex that I've had in my life, I can honestly say that you can't even compare them. For example, I think with a sex toy, when someone uses a sex toy, I think the objective in general is to feel pleasure and to reach orgasm. Whereas when you're with a person, maybe in some cases that could be the objective as well. But I think it's more about enjoying the intimacy, and I think intimacy, things like human warmth, skin on skin nudity, caresses, kisses, even the emotions, you can't compare that. Because I think maybe a lovemaking session would be typically longer than a self-love session. And yeah, I think you can't even compare them. But one thing on a just on a physiological level, one thing that sex toys have not managed to do yet is to make something that's as good as oral sex. I mean, there have been some toys that claim to be oral sex simulators, but honestly, there's nothing like proper oral sex with a guy who knows what he's doing. I think sometimes I love it when a man really enjoys oral sex, or it could be a woman as well. But when someone really knows what they're doing, it's just incredible. And I think it's just a case of isolating the clitoris and teasing it with the tongue, and I guess the pressure and the rhythm depends on the moment, but it's always worth asking asking for guidance and perfecting that technique if you want to be better than a sex toy. So that would be my advice to anyone who feels intimidated by sex toys. Well, it's not really my advice, but I think it's a good point, something to take into consideration. And another thing that I find interesting that's happened with sex toys over the years, especially with rabbit vibrators. I don't have one at hand right now, but imagine a rabbit vibrator. I think some men just look at the whole length of the toy and they don't realise that the insertable length is actually a lot less. Because I think that can be quite intimidating for men sometimes, especially if the phallus that you're using as a toy is bigger than their phallus. That can be problematic. But it's just a question of reassuring and your partner and communicating, and realizing that sex toys are a complement. And I think it's a good idea to actually see your partner use a sex toy and see how they stimulate themselves. So maybe you can pick up some tips on how to provoke more orgasms during your lovemaking sessions. I don't think you can compare real human sex with a sex toy. It's very different. However, I think it's a good idea to sometimes use sex toys when you're with a person. I think it's always good to have some variety. But personally, if I'm honest, when I'm with a person, I prefer to leave all my sex toys in their respective boxes and enjoy the human warmth and just the caresses and the kisses and all of those things that I'm imagining when I'm using a sex toy, but I can't access because I'm on my own. So can a man compete with a sex toy? Well, he shouldn't have to, in my opinion. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video and see you next time.